Rapid fire.
Rapid fire. All right, I like this episode. Hope you do too. These are a collection of memes and other pulled off of Twitters and whatever, wherever we see it.
Yep.
A collection of Craig and I's weekly homework, if you will.
Yeah, perusals through the things that are funny, sometimes serious.
Sometimes just factual, you know, just like, hey, think about this. All right, first one, hat tip, Colin Rugg off of Twitter. We're going to give you a weekly news cap of what's going on here in this last week, and he sums it up pretty well. Malaysia and China teaming up to take on the dollar with the Asian Fund. So they're kind of like the euro.
Yep.
They're now again positioning themselves to not need the dollar as the world currency. Saudi Arabia's crown prince says he's no longer cares about pleasing the United States.
That's a problem. This one's definitely in the not funny category.
No, it's not. This is, again, the weekly news recap. Trump was arrested. This is a couple weeks old. Trump was arrested for a 7-year-old hush money payment. Not going to beat that one to death. Joe Biden pushed for fracking in Ukraine just 3 days after his son joined Burisma board.
Oh, fracking, but isn't that horrible evil thing that you shouldn't be allowed to do? Oh, that's just in our country.
That's just in our country. That's right. China says they are ready to facilitate peace talks with Ukraine. Isn't that what we used to do?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. It's
our standing is just...
No, we are becoming very quickly the has-been or afterthought, yes.
Biden blames Trump for Afghanistan withdrawal. This one is laughable in a bad way. Are you kidding me? How does he figure that the withdrawal, which is an absolute catastrophe, 14 lives lost, $80 billion worth of military arsenal left behind?
Because they've learned that the catchphrase, it's Trump's fault,
and that
resonates with their low information demographic.
Very well said. Very well said. The Tennessee House expels 2 members for leading a mob at the insurrection.
Yeah, but
at the Capitol, it's an insurrection.
Yeah, but then they got reinstated because
they're Democrats.
Yeah,
they have different.
Kamala, went down there and was.
Kamala went down to talk to the victims of the shooting.
No.
She that's not why she was down there.
No, she went down there to talk to the politicians that had got ousted. Which was completely by their rules and regulations for their state.
So that is a recap of how we are doing on the world stage. So it's sad.
It is.
It's very sad. All right, next one. Transgender mob assaults Riley Gaines for defending women's sports. Oh, this is the same thing. This is on the same one. This is still weekly news recap. Transgender mob assaults Riley Gaines for defending women's sports. Then the last one is Biden's America, trans terror, arresting the main political opponent, and China dominance. Really sounds like our future has some real big concerns.
It really does.
Sad. Let's just go on. Yeah, it's before I start cussing. Next one, if you'd put up there, shout out to Seth Plank. It's actually my brother, believe it or not. He took this picture of. It's funny.
It is funny.
Bud Light unveils a new easy open bottle caps. It says trans fluid on there if you can't read it. I think that's freaking hilarious. All right, this guy, he writes a lot of good stuff. Colin Rugg, again, a hat tip. While everyone was talking about trannies on beer bottles, BRICS, or the conglomerate between Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, surpassed the G7 countries in global GDP.
Yep. So there again, that relates right to the one you mentioned just a little bit ago about the currency that they're using for those countries. So not only is what I would call the global reserve currency moving away from the dollar, which has huge repercussions, but now their actual GDP is surpassing us. We're no longer the dominant driving force in the world.
You ever watched a sports game, football, basketball, and your team is like just swamping on somebody, and then right before the end of the half, the other team starts making, and you feel that momentum just going away, and you're going to lose.
Yep.
This is how this feels.
Yes, I agree.
All right. Next one, my man, Kid Rock. This is something he posted on Twitter, and I think it's kind of deep.
Yep.
and it kind of tells us why we are in the place we are now with this whole transgender debacle. First, we overlook evil, then we permit evil, then we legalize evil, kind of the whole gay marriage thing.
Yep.
Then we promote evil. Now we're supposed to promote these drag queens shaking their junk in our kids' faces for story time. And then we celebrate, if you don't celebrate evil, right? And then we persecute those who still call it evil. So bring it on, bro, persecute me.
Yeah, that is sad, but this is actually, it's true.
It's so true.
This is the step and process it's
We've
going.
talked about that before, that you need to stand up against evil when it's just a small evil. If it's evil, it's evil. Stand up, or else it's gonna be a beast.
When you see evil and identify it, you need to let people know.
That's right.
Because the time to push back is right then.
That's right. All right, next one. Many of you heard about Dalai Lama taking some heat in the news. What a perv. But I think the Dalai Lama and Joe Biden here are enjoying themselves.
Yeah, okay, this is funny, but the original story
is not funny.
That was very disturbing to me, and it kind of took me, it kind of sideswiped me, or blindsided me, because I had no idea.
In my head, I want to say Dalai Lama's got to be 90 years old.
You think
I think his faculty.
He's just losing it.
I hope so. I mean, I'm not. What is it? Buddhism?
I believe so. Yeah.
He's a human being, deserves, the benefit of the doubt. But my gosh,
it was definitely.
Yes.
It was.
But
weird,
you know what would have been? This has already faded away in the news, right? It was like a one-day blip. If this was the Pope, can you imagine? Or some prominent evangelical?
Yep.
It wouldn't go away.
It wouldn't go away for
5 years.
Yeah, it'd be a long time.
All right, next, the Blaze hat tip. High-tech handguns. A high-tech handgun with fingerprint and facial recognition biometrics only shoots when it is in the hands of an authorized user. First take on it is cool technology, but anything electronic
whenever there's a failure point, and anything that's a biometric, because they've been trying this for a long time, and they can't get it to operate as reliably and consistently as what you would need. I mean, quite honestly, if they could come up with an easy, accurate, reliable, 100% it always worked way to do something like this, but then you still run into the problem of, okay, what if the good guy with a gun is someone who just happened to come by and was helping out, and you were incapacitated, but they could use your gun to defend you?
Right.
Well, now all they'd have is a brick. I mean, there's pros and cons with all of it. This is all like a huge solution looking for a problem that I don't really think
it doesn't exist. My killer on this, where I'm like, no way, get it out of here, is my computer.
Yes.
I always have some sort of bug or some sort of thing that I need to re-log on to. I just don't see this being bug-free. And when you need that gun, being like, come on, man, come on.
When something goes bump in the middle of the night, do you want to have to call tech support to make sure that,
That's a good one, tech support.
That your defense is going to work?
Just hold on a second. Just give me a second.
And as likely as not,
I'm on hold.
This is going to sound horrible. I'm just going to say it anyway.
I'm fifth in line.
You're not going to be able to understand the person you're talking to anyway. So,
all right, next one.
Hat tip. Get some heat on that one.
Hat tip Grabian. Most recently, this kind of went under the news. I don't even know if you heard about this.
I did.
Did you?
Yeah. I'm kind of surprised didn't bring it up and talk about it with each other.
A couple months, 3 months ago, this was something with the chicken farms and culling of animals and stuff like that. It was kind of big on our topics. We just had another 18,000 cows killed in a fire that has evidence that it was a terrorism act, domestic or foreign, I'm not sure, but what the heck is going on?
And it was more than just a fire, too. There was an explosion that preceded the fire. So, I mean, a big explosion.
So who are the likely suspects?
The chickens.
From Chick-fil-A? No, but honestly, who doesn't like cow farts?
Well, we talked about, there's a couple of companies we just mentioned, they might be, it's that whole mindset. But the whole, we have to save the planet from something that is not really a problem. It's just,
Yeah. You see Eric Adams, New York City mayor, had a public speech where he was telling his constituents they need to start eating better, less meat and less milk to save the planet.
oh, for crying out loud.
That's right. I'm going to take my dietary advice from that jackass.
Yeah.
All right, next one. Hat tip Sherman Tank on the Twitters. Texas gun rights. I'm sorry, yeah, that's who I'm giving a hat tip to. Texas gun rights. It says background checks equal gun registry. I agree.
Yep.
Gun registry equals gun confiscation list. I agree.
Agree.
Red flag laws equal gun confiscation orders.
Yep.
Gun-free zones equal temporary gun confiscation. Semi-auto ban equals premature gun confiscation.
Yep. All of that
The more
stuff.
you know.
The more you know.
It's gun control isn't about guns. I don't know how many different ways we can say this. Gun control isn't about the guns. It's about the control.
It's about the control. Yep.
That's what it comes down to.
Yep.
All right, next one, the Blaze. Hat tip the Blaze. Yet another train carrying hazardous materials. This is about 4 or 5 days ago. Derails and catches fire in Maine.
Dude, what is just...
Buttigieg
What is
has
going
a
on?
good grip on what's going on in our infrastructure, and he's got it under control.
Yeah, he
All
does.
part of the plan.
He does. He's once again, I heard him just real recently, and a presser was talking about again, it's the racist roads' fault.
Yes.
So
yes, it is.
the dude just doesn't...
The water's racist.
The why?
All right, next one, hat tip, a.k.a. face shots. I'm not sure what that is, but face hots? Face hots. A new text alert service called Woke Alert was created to help American shoppers spot products made by leftist woke companies. I like it.
I do too. I think that's pretty cool.
I haven't done any research to validate this, so I'm going to research this to make sure this is real. But this goes along with my earlier segment about companies that hate you. We need to stop giving our dollars to them if we possibly can.
Yep.
But I'm going to check out this Woke Alert company and see if we can come up with some companies to expose.
Yep, that'd be cool.
So, and the last, no, that's not the last one, close. In 2020, if you put the next one up there, in 2020 there were 287 cases of people dying by putting foreign objects in their anus. This is more people in a single year than people who have been killed by AR-15s in the last 5 years.
What?
So
that's disturbing. That's just disturbing.
Put it in perspective. The boogeyman is this AR-15, and
Yep.
people sticking stuff up their keister is a bigger killer than that.
Yep.
All right, next one. Florida lawmakers appear poised to pass legislation allowing the death penalty for pedophiles. I can tell you an update on this. It did pass. Florida is leading the way. I love this. I love this.
Yeah, there's nothing but good about this. The reality is, quit messing with our kids.
That's right.
I don't know how else you say it. All the stuff that they're doing
Is promoting these freaks to act on their twisted fetishes.
Yes. And it's been coming for a long time. People have been saying it's coming for a long time. Those people kept being called conspiracy theorists and all this kind of stuff, and that they're crazy, and look where we're heading.
Yep.
All right. Good on Florida.
Yep. Thank you, Florida. Thank you, Governor. Next one, hat tip Charlie Kirk. This is a good one. If a person shoplifts once, politicians should make sure he is put in jail. If a person shoplifts 18 times in a year, we should put the politician in jail.
Yep.
This is in reference to a study that showed that nearly a third of all shoplifting arrests in New York City last year involved only 327 people. 327 people were arrested over 6,000 times for the same freaking offense.
That is just incredible. It's a unified. That is the definition of a crime gang.
That's right. And a little smack on the wrist and putting people people are losing their livelihoods. These little shops and people are losing jobs because they can't keep the doors open. Those people don't have any protection from their government, the government needs to be held accountable.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, next one. This is a picture. Let's blow this bad boy up. All right, so on the left, just one beer, then I'm going to go home. That is Richard L. Levine in Wakefield, Massachusetts.
You just dead named him.
Oh, I did name him. One Bud Light later, and we've got the first transgender admiral.
Oh, my goodness.
In health, whatever. What does she do? Or what does he do? I'm sorry. I misgendered her. What does he do?
I honestly, it's. I think it's with
him and Buttigieg play patty cake.
Yeah, and something with the like home and health services, something like that. I can't remember. Honestly, I try to block it out because it's very disturbing.
All right. Next one is hat tip the Taliban Public Relations Department. These guys troll Biden so bad, and it's. I'm no fan of the Taliban, but for as horribly as Biden did with the withdrawal, I think it's kind of funny. This guy, whoever's running this Twitter page, our magnificent movement summarized in a single clip. We went from Honda motorcycles to the Asia's fourth best equipped army, thanks to our glorious heroism and a little bit of help from Sleepy Joe. We return the favor by supporting Biden-Harris 2024. He is a wise president, LOL. Is that not the best trolling you've ever seen?
It is, and how sad is it that the Taliban is so much more aware of the reality than
half of America
is. Yeah.
Who is a Republican that you absolutely despise?
Oh, it's hard to list.
Liz Cheney comes to mind.
Liz Cheney comes to mind.
How about Crybaby Kinzinger?
He would be on the list. So
Bud Light has come out with their new can with Mr. Crybaby. It's called a 16-ounce Rhino Cryboy. So what a douche. All right, next one is from Not the Bee. Hat tip. Here's how the media covered the arrest of a Florida kid who threatened to shoot up a middle school. Miami Herald's headline was 13-year-old son of Rebecca Jones, whistleblower, who clashed with DeSantis, is arrested over memes.
That is just. I'm not surprised.
I'm not either.
It's just goodness.
One-sided media. We're up against the wall there.